Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Are you ready? Well, welcome to the first video of our newly titled show. Did anybody watch the inauguration? I know I didn't, but you know, from the things that's been talked about this afternoon about it, I guess a lot of people really were surprised. At first, there was a picture of Donald Trump not putting his hand on the Bibles when he took the oath of office, which was weird. And then there's Elon Musk at some rally or something giving the Nazi salute, and that's like all over fucking the internet. There, it's like gone viral of him doing the Nazi salute, and it was you know, wasn't no fake thing or where he was waving at anybody. No, he was did a Nazi salute right there. You know, I don't know. You know, it's just, we're gonna be in for a hell of a fucking ride. I can tell you that right now. We're as time goes on, more and more people are gonna regret that they ever voted for this son of a bitch. Okay, and all I could say is, we told you so. We told you this was what was gonna happen. You know. And you know, it's funny because there was a guy that I was chatting with, and you know, not a friend, just somebody at random. You know, I don't know, obviously a Trump supporter, but kind of saying, well, how'd you put it? I had remarked on someone else's comment, and he jumped in on the discussion and said, well, why didn't Biden do anything for, you know, wages and stuff like that, if he was such a good president and everything? And I was like, okay. So instead of just writing out a lengthy essay, what I did is I decided, well, I'm going to provide him links where Biden did do stuff, okay, and it's going to be up to him whether or not he wants to read it. So what I did is I said, well, you're wrong about the things you think Biden didn't do, so here you can read these articles here on each thing that he did. So I put it there. He replied like 2 minutes after. There's no fucking way he read all those. Okay, and right off he said, oh yeah, okay, none of that stuff, you know, basically trying to minimize it like it never really happened. Okay, and I wrote back and said, well, it took you all of 2 minutes to read 4 links to articles that you brought up issues with, okay? And I know you didn't read it. So since you're not going to read anything I post, I'm just going, you know, say, you earned yourself a free block, and I blocked him off of it, so he can't talk to me. You know, but that's what you get from MAGA. That's what you get from people who support Trump, okay, is when you confront them with the facts, they run, okay? It's easy to get on there and bitch, Biden didn't do this, Biden didn't do that. You know, and the first thing that they seem to forget is who the hell was in control of Congress under Biden? Who the hell was in control of the Senate under Biden? Who in the hell is in control of the Supreme Court? All right. Now, granted, he did get things done, but they didn't make it easy. They didn't make it easy on the fucking guy. I'll tell you, it was just ridiculous how they roadblocked as much as they could do. But MAGA doesn't care about that. They don't want to hear the counter arguments because it blows everything they say about Biden and the Democrats out of the water every single time. You know, they just don't want to do it. So here's the first video here, where Trump had some meme coins put on, I don't know, the stock market or something like that, and practically overnight the value of the thing plummeted. So he can get into it better than I can. So let's go to that, and I'll see you on the other side here.
This Trump meme coin scam is catastrophic. Almost immediately after Donald Trump announced that he was coming up with a Trump meme coin at a crypto party right before the inauguration, this thing skyrocketed, was valued at billions and billions of dollars. Insiders were benefiting. When you look at the allocation of how the money was being made, about 80 to 90% looked like it was insiders. It only had about 10% liquidity. This is what they call in the kind of crypto space a shit coin or a meme coin. It has all of the hallmarks of a major rug pull, of a major scam, but Trump and his inner circle were crushing it. I mean, at one point, Trump was worth 40, 50, 60 billion dollars on paper, one of the richest Americans as a result of this meme coin. But then later on Sunday, it crashed. Within a half hour, it dropped about 60%, and it kept on going lower as of the time that I'm recording this. And that corresponded also to right about the same time when Melania Trump released her meme coin, $ Melania, which if you just say it is Smellania. No one actually thought of that. So Melania releases her Bitcoin, meme coin, whatever you want to call it, shit coin, and then boom, a massive crash happens. And by the way, this is systemic. This is not just unique to the Trump meme coin. This is also something that we were then seeing with Bitcoin, and the overall crypto market started to crash as the domino effect started to set in. Now, one of the things that you need to know about today, today's the day of the inauguration. By the way, you can check out, we're playing Puppies and Kittens on the Midas Touch YouTube channel, and we're streaming that live, seeing if we can get more views than the Trump stream. But one of the things that Trump is likely going to do with the executive orders today, and we've been talking about that, is to do the most crypto-friendly executive orders, basically written by the crypto industry, but also by a lot of the scammers, some of the bad faith actors in the kind of crypto, in the crypto industry. And so one of the things that we're seeing that Trump may do now to try to artificially prop back up the crypto market is make an executive order that basically would require the Treasury Department to consider a certain amount of crypto or Bitcoin and kind of various other tokens as part of our strategic reserve to be backed by the full faith and credit of our federal government, now to kind of in a Ponzi scheme-like way to try to prop up a faltering and failing industry that he kind of caused this domino and cascading effect. Folks, I've gotten calls from crypto people who never call me really anything, people who support Trump, and they've been calling me and they've been saying, word for word, I've gotten a number of calls like this, Ben, holy shit, he is crashing the economy right now, and he couldn't even wait before he took office. He couldn't even wait a few months. He released this meme coin, this shit coin, and it is crashing crypto. It is making the whole industry look like one big scam, one big grift. I had one person who hated Gensler, the current SEC commissioner. And this person goes, hey, Ben, maybe, I've seen people post this as well, maybe Gensler had a point to try to regulate this because, look, there's a place for crypto, as Vice President Kamala Harris recognized. There is. We shouldn't be anti-crypto, anti a thing that is part of what the future is going to be. But you also have to regulate the scams, and you have to stop the crooks. You have to stop the fraud. You have to stop the rug pulling. I mean, people like CoffeeZilla and others who cover this crypto space, when Donald Trump posted that he was selling this meme coin $Trump, everybody in the crypto industry thought this was, that he was hacked. They were like, this must be the biggest hack. Right before the inauguration, he can't be selling a shit coin. Who, like the Haktua girl? Remember the Haktua girl sold her shit coin? It crashed. It was a pump and dump. And when you look at the allocation of this Trump meme coin or shit coin, whatever you want to call it, again, only 10% liquidity. This was a feast for the rug pulling insiders right here. If you just take a look at the allocations, and it looked like the scammiest, griftiest thing, but up to the moon, people bought it, their life savings absolutely in the freaking gutter on day one. Now, this is at a time when Donald Trump's Treasury Secretary as well was speaking before the Senate. He was asked by Bernie Sanders, Democratic senator. So, will you work with me to help? I won't do a Bernie Sanders impression. To have a living wage. Right now, the federal minimum wage limit is $7.25. As the Secretary of the Treasury, can you work with us and maybe we can raise the minimum wage to a living wage? I want you to watch that, but I want you to think about Trump's priorities. Shitcoin, meme coin, and screwing up the crypto market, screwing up the price of Bitcoin, crashing these markets before he even took office, creating chaos and pandemonium over the weekend. This is Trump's Secretary of Treasury pick right here. Let me play this clip.
Right now in America, we have over 22 million workers who are making less than $15 an hour, and nearly 40 million people in our country earning less than $17 an hour. Shamefully, the federal minimum wage, despite the efforts of myself and other people here, have not been raised since 2009 and remains an unbelievable $7.25 an hour. Will you work with those of us who want to raise the federal minimum wage to a living wage to take millions of Americans out of poverty?
Senator, I believe that the minimum wage is more of a statewide and regional issue.
So you don't think we should change the federal minimum wage of $7.25 an hour?
No, sir.
Okay. Mr. Bessent,
Folks, and everybody was trying to get involved in this as well. I mean, you had the right-wing podcaster from Barstool, Jason Portnoy. He was posting, so what separates this from the Haktua coin? And so can I do my own coin? And if I do my own coin and just tell people that it's probably a Ponzi scheme, can I just do that and get away with it? And then Portnoy posted, just made $1 million when it was skyrocketing. Just made $1 million off this Trump coin. He sold it. He got out, if you believe this is what he did, made $1 million. But I'm thinking about all the people who bought this when it was at the top of the market, all these Trump supporters who's lost all of this money, who lost their life savings. Again, before day one. This is what Trump's doing. This is what Melania doing. Even Spencer Hakimian, who's like liberal, this guy would be on Twitter doing all these right-wing shit posts. Even he goes, this is before the crash he posted, make America grift again. He goes, it's objectively hilarious and equally crazy that Trump's net worth is possibly $30 billion right now, worth as much as Ken Griffin, Sheldon Adelson, Jack Ma, etc. And this is the breakdown of Trump's net worth: $24 billion shitcoin, $5 billion Truth Social, $1 billion real estate. And then that's when it was still going up. It ended up being somewhere at 55, 67. It was getting to like $60 billion, the valuation, which would have made Trump's net worth one of the top 15 to 20 richest Americans based on this rug pull. By the way, that's going to be the word for this administration, the rug pull, right? What Donald Trump promised: lowering the prices. He promised peace in Ukraine. He promised making housing more affordable. Mr. Accordion hands there, but he's freaking rug pulling you MAGA? Don't you see? He couldn't even wait. He had to use the office of the presidency to try to become the richest person ever and screwed our freaking markets before day one. You should be livid and you should be pissed. And now what he's going to try to do, in my opinion, is have this executive order, these crypto-friendly executive orders, declare that the Treasury needs to make part of their strategic reserves all of these various cryptos to try to prop it back up, which will just be kind of, maybe you'll see a temporary bump, but I think we know what's going on there. It's pump and dump. It's Ponzi-like. Spencer Akimian also goes, imagine if by the way, this is like a right-wing guy. Imagine if Trump spends his 4 years just pumping crypto. No more elections left to win. No need to appeal to anybody. Just straight up crypto pumping and dumping his crypto. The DOJ and the SEC, which he controls, won't investigate him. The Supreme Court gave him absolutely immunity. We're living in the craziest timeline. Michael Gade goes, unpopular opinion. We got played. And then this other Trumper goes, I've been thinking this since the day after I left the voting booth. Just a reshuffled group of billionaires laughing at our expense. And you want to see how they're laughing at your expense? When you look at the fine print of this thing, when you go through what's actually being said on this, what Trump's saying about his meme coin, he goes, there's no endorsement here by anyone. This is not political. All this is showing your love of the letter of the symbol $TRUMP. You're sharing your love for $TRUMP and the community around that. This shouldn't be viewed as a security. If you lose all of your money, there's nothing that we're going to be able to do for you at all. We disclaim all liability, and it says it page after page. It's on you. It's all of the risk. Don't view this as a security at all. This is what it says right here. Trump's memes are intended to function as an expression of support for and engaged with the ideals and beliefs embodied by the symbol $Trump and the associated artwork, and are not intended to be or be the subject of an investment opportunity, investment contract, or security of any type. GetTrumpMemes.com is not political and has nothing to do with any political campaign or any political office or governmental agency. See terms or conditions. So why are they saying that? Why are they saying, oh, well, it is part of the ideals and beliefs embodied in the symbol and not the individual, because they're trying to say, oh, this isn't about supporting Donald Trump. This is about the letters TRUMP and the $. So when people get screwed, when they get the rug pulled under them, they won't be able to sue. They'll just be left once again losing their life savings. This is pissing me off, folks. All of the people in the crypto community too who know this stuff is saying, what in the hell is going on here? You're making all of crypto look scammy and grifty, and you're giving it all a bad name, folks. We'll see how much more this falls. We'll see the volatility of this. Again, this is all happening very, very quickly, but we'll keep you posted every step of the way. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 4 million subscribers.
Okay, don't ask me how these fucking Bitcoins and meme coins works, okay? That's all Greek to me. I don't understand it. I don't know what the hell people see in that, or why they're trying to replace the money that we use and all that with this shit. I don't know what that is, okay? The only thing I could think of is it's something to do with the internet that's used online, okay? What makes that such a better thing to do than just the way we've been doing things, okay? Paying with credit cards or whatever. I mean, what the hell's the difference? I don't get it, okay? And the fact that every time, these things are mentioned in the news, it's always linked to something that's nefarious, it seems. And so as long as people keep using this, Bitcoins and stuff like that, for nefarious reasons, the way Trump did, how is anyone ever going to say, oh, we should swap Bitcoins for cash, or swap cash and use Bitcoins instead? Why would anybody want to follow that? Because people like Trump are out there using it to create Ponzi schemes where they conflate the value of these damn things, and then all of a sudden they dump it. Okay, and then the value of it goes through the fucking floor. I mean, why do they do this? And then they tell people we need to get rid of the way we do business online and use these things instead. Fuck that. It seems to me like you guys are pretty much have open season on anyone that uses it. I mean, how can we ever trust anybody to use that thing when it's always in the center of some kind of, scam? I feel like no. Until, some control is put on that to the point where, where we control money and stuff the way we do now. I mean, why should we ever trust that? I'm certainly never going to want to use that shit. Okay? And nobody's going to force me to use it. I don't care if I never get to use it. I mean, I ain't going to use it because it doesn't look trustworthy. The president, the fucking president gets, right before he even gets into office, is already scamming people using that fucking thing and made, money by dumping the stock, pump and dump is what they call it. And I feel like, there's nothing there that's trustworthy about it. And when a guy like Trump is using it, to do what he just did today, it's not a legitimate thing. They're using it for the sole purpose of, scamming people just to, I mean, not that, that people aren't scamming people, in the regular way. It goes on. But it seems like the minute people started talking, or I hear the word Bitcoin and stuff, the minute people started bringing that into the foreground, it just seemed like from that day on, it seemed like somebody trying to sell me a lemon for a car. That's how it comes off. Because if I can't understand it, how can I trust it? Okay, you see what I'm saying? How many people, I don't know many people that can really sit down and tell me exactly, how that shit works, and why I should invest in it. Really? You want me to invest in something that right now Trump just pulled the rug out from under people with it, and they lost their life savings and stuff in 24 hours. While he's sitting there taking the oath of office, people have just lost millions of fucking dollars, in this Bitcoin thing, whatever the fuck he's got it. But that's just par for the course, right? I mean, we warned people voting for Trump that this was going to be what he does. He's going to do one scandal after another all the way till the end of his presidency. And maybe if he's still alive and kicking, he'll answer for it. Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe he's hoping he'll die so that way, they'll never be able to reach him. I don't know. But you can bet that as we speak, he's already up to something nefarious. As we speak, as I'm talking to you right now, he's up to something. Okay? Him and Elon, they're working out a scheme. And I wager that if you want to make money really quick, you can bet on that. You can bet on everything you own that before his term is over as president, he's going to get caught doing something else. After this here, whatever. He's going to be involved in some other fucking thing, some other scam, break the law in some other way. You'll make your money. Okay? Always bet against him because goddamn well that's what he's up to. That's why he's there, because he's got what he wanted, folks. He ain't going to go to prison. He's the president now. He's not going to answer for any of the things that, we were after him for the last 4 years, okay? He managed to run the clock out and he won. That was the big fear that I had from the get-go, was when they started after him on the smaller charges and stuff like that, instead of going after him with the big one that would have guaranteed his ass in prison. Because, hey, we locked up a lot of American spies in this country for selling our secrets to Russia and whatever for money, okay? Trump did the very same goddamn thing. Christ, he had so many secrets, he couldn't get rid of them all. He was trying to flush them down the toilet. He was trying to burn them. He was trying to, do anything. He was deliberately destroying stuff and he's passed stuff to people in Australia. We know that, but he got away with it. He got away with it, and it's like it's a slap in the face to all those people like Aldrich Ames, Robert Hansen, people like them who turncoat on the United States and sold our national secret. We had them locked up in total isolation for the rest of their natural life. Okay. Not Trump. No. I'll never really understand this country, really, to think that when somebody comes up and tells me that, oh, we're a country of laws and we have a justice system and all that, I'm gonna spit in your face. Okay, don't tell me that. Trump just showed you how broken this country is. That statue with the scale on that's a total fabrication. Justice doesn't look like that at all. Okay, it doesn't. So don't come to me with your high moral thoughts and stuff and say that the United States has a higher standard than the rest of the world. No, we don't. We're actually just as bad as a banana republic at this point now, because the wealthy own the justice system in America. They own it. They paid for it, They spent good money to make that system work for them, and they got their money's worth, I'll tell you. Okay, let's go to a commercial break, and we'll come back with another video.
I'm Alex Curtis. I'm a lobsterman in Maine, and this is me.
I'm Roxy Sugar, and this is me.
I'm Eric Hopkins. I'm an artist, and this is me.
This is me.
Me.
This is me.
This is me.
At the end of the journey, the main thing is you, original.
Well, everybody, today is Inauguration Day, and in honor of not giving that buffoon the attention he so desperately craves, I'm going to talk about some other things that went on over there today. Like Melania's hat. For decades, we have been searching for Carmen Sandiego, and who would have thought she was with us the whole time? A lot of people would call it a fashion choice, but at the end of the day, it was a line of defense, and a brilliant one at that. What better way to ensure that Donald's orange, wrinkly, trout mouth lips don't come anywhere near her face? And after weeks of scrutiny, Carrie Underwood took the stage to perform, and embarrassingly enough, had to stand there awkwardly due to some technical difficulties. But we all know what really happened. International superstar Lara Trump cut the wires. She was probably devastated that her father-in-law didn't ask her to perform. And ironically enough, she was able to hide behind Melania's hat and not get caught. But the biggest blunder of all, which I'm sure Fox News will cover for 24 hours a day for the next month, was the fact that Trump did not place his hand on the Bible when he was being sworn in. Watch.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
That I will faithfully execute.
That I will faithfully execute.
The office of President of the United States.
The office of President of the United States.
And will, to the best of my ability.
And will, to the best of my ability.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
The Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
But in the spirit of unity, for one time and one time only, I will be coming to Donald Trump's defense. He was probably blocked by Melania's hat. My favorite part of that whole scene was her desperately trying to get his attention. At one point, she even shifted to be like, yo, put your hand on the Bible. But again, in Donald Trump's defense, he did us all a favor. And Lord knows Donald Trump couldn't be responsible for igniting flames at the Capitol for a second time. And lastly, I want to tip Melania's hat to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris for showing up to the inauguration, something Donald Trump did not have the balls to do just 4 years ago. Luckily, we all know America's ability to produce shitty sequels time and time again. And ladies and gentlemen, buckle up because we're in for part 2. I know there are a lot of people out there that are feeling uneasy for what's to come in the next 4 years. The many, many groups in this country that will be targeted and attacked. Please know that not all hope is lost and that there are still people in this country willing to fight for you. Myself included. Anyways, bye.
And you know, tonight I'm going to be signing on the J6 hostages, pardons, to get them out. And as soon as I leave, I'm going to the Oval Office and we'll be signing pardons for a lot of people. Thank you.
Some people have a deep, abiding respect for the natural beauty that was once this country. And some people don't. People start pollution. People can stop it. Write for Pollution Booklet, Box 1771, Radio City Station, New York.
Be a part of the entertainment value of a lifetime.
I loved it.
It was the best performance I've seen in a lifetime.
I loved the show. I liked it very much. He's a very entertaining man. It's well worth the money.
Now appearing in Charlottetown, coming to Halifax November 6th to the 18th, and St. John November 20th through the 26th.
So, this next video is concerning TikTok. Now, I wouldn't really normally talk about, something to do with TikTok, but the reason why I'm bringing this up is because if you all remember, and I certainly remember because he spent more time talking against TikTok, was, the fact that Donald Trump was all for getting rid of it, okay? He spent all of 2022 and 23, basically pushing to get TikTok banned in the United States, okay? And he did it so well. I mean, he got people in Congress and in the Senate talking about it. And, all the rest of the right, the MAGA people out there rallying against it. And I remember how they were drumming up fear about, how China has taken all your data and everything. And it's like, well, yeah. They do that also in the United States on Facebook and all that. They do that here. They take all your data, they sell it to places, your information, so you can get inundated with ads and stuff like that and whatever the hell else. That goes on around the world, okay? Which never really registered with me why it was such a bad thing that China's getting it, right? We got a trade thing with China. We always did. okay, and the China government has, like Temu and Shine and all those other outfits that you can buy stuff from them from. And where do you when you buy online through them, where do you think that data goes? I mean, they get your information, right? People been shopping on there at websites that are based in China. So all of a sudden now we can't trust TikTok because they're collecting your data. It's like, okay, who isn't? They're all collecting your data. Everybody, everywhere you go. I mean, it's just you're in. If you bought one thing in your life already on the internet, everybody's got that information that you had it. Okay, let's understand right now. That's there. It's all out there. If you even if you only bought one thing online, that one thing that you bought online has already been passed around to different people. It's all over the globe now. Okay, your face, not your face, but your name and all that information is in a database and it gets passed around, okay, for a price. So, no, I mean, to go after single TikTok out, which was laughable, because I said, well, if you're going to go after them, you got to go after Facebook, you got to go after Twitter, you got to go after all these other outfits that do the same thing. Facebook, everybody. Okay, why single them out? It made no sense to me, because in China they got those same websites that people use over there too. They use them. You see? But Trump and all them were out against it. Well, now, and I'm talking practically overnight, now he lifted the ban off of TikTok. So now TikTok is back. So this video he was going to talk about what the hell went on about that, and after that I'll catch you on the other side. So let's go to the video.
All right, y'all. So I'm going to break down for you what the hell is going on with TikTok. I know you probably have a lot of questions. You've been seeing a lot of stories about it over the past couple days. Well, I'm going to break it all down for you. So let's start with this. Benjamin Norton says the following. U.S. politics is a farce. Trump signed an executive order in 2020 trying to ban TikTok, but judges blocked it. Now, Biden is banning it, and the Supreme Court just decided we're going to give it the green light. So to spite the Democrats, now Trump is going to get credit for, quote, saving TikTok after he tried to ban it first. Okay, so that's a basic timeline of events. As you can see here, he has receipts. 2020, August 6, Trump signs executive order that will effectively ban use of TikTok in the U.S. But U.S. judges said, no, you can't do that. This is something that would have to go through Congress. So that gets halted. But then what happens is it comes up again for a vote, this time through Congress. There was actual legislation. The Republican House passes the TikTok ban. The Democratic Senate also passes it. So it gets through Congress, comes to Biden's desk. Biden signs it, effectively banning it, but there was a little grace period where they were attempting to have it be sold to a U.S. investor, right? And basically we hit that deadline. Boom, it was banned. Now, right before it got banned, you basically had everybody was kind of like, oh, wait, maybe we won't enforce this. The Supreme Court says is just like a week ago. They were like, yeah, okay, you can ban it. All right, like you have the ability to ban this because you passed it through Congress and it was going to be banned, so you're allowed to do it. And then you had Biden at the last minute was like, whoa. Hey, maybe I won't enforce it. Maybe we'll find a way to give it a grace period. And the reason he was reacting like that is because public sentiment was literally the exact opposite. There was a time when banning TikTok was viewed as popular, but right before the ban actually went into effect, everybody was like, holy shit, we don't want it banned. A lot of people, especially young people, use this app. A lot of people make a living on this app, right? And so they were like, okay, maybe we shouldn't ban it. So, but what happened is, so TikTok comes out and they say, look, we know Biden said that he was basically not going to enforce the law or considering not enforcing the law. That's not a solid enough commitment to us. So we're just going to shut down the app in the U.S. because we don't want to run afoul of the law. So they come out and say that. And then Trump comes out and says, save TikTok. We're going to save TikTok. I'm going to sign an executive order to reverse this. Then TikTok, after being offline for 1 day, releases a statement. I'll show you the statement in a second. Where they're like, okay, we're going to bring it back. And all glory be to President Trump. Let me, I'll walk you through more of it. So, just to back up this claim here, in 2020, Trump was everywhere saying ban TikTok. Here's 1,000 headlines. NBC News. Trump says he's banning TikTok in the U.S. Tech. Trump on TikTok. We're banning them from the United States. Trump says he intends to ban TikTok from the U.S. That's New York Post. Billboard. President Trump says he will ban TikTok from the U.S. Breitbart. Trump says he'll ban TikTok in the U.S. Vanity Fair. Donald Trump declares war on TikTok from Air Force One. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, list goes on. This was the Republican position. This was the Donald Trump position at the time. All right. More. Here is Trump. This is back in 2020. Here's what he was saying.
When I wanted to disable TikTok 3 years ago, I was met with opposition from rhinos, Democrats, and everyone else. They actually went to court in an effort to stop me.
We're looking at TikTok. We may be banning TikTok. We may be doing some other things. There are a couple of options, but a lot of things are happening. So we'll see what happens. But we are looking at a lot of alternatives with respect to TikTok. We gave them until September 15th. After that, they got to close shop. Okay? That's TikTok. We're looking at TikTok. We're thinking about making a decision. We're going to be watching the hearings today very closely because there's no question that what the big tech companies are doing is very bad.
TikTok is one thing that we're doing, and we just, I don't know, maybe I would have done that anyway. I don't know. It could have been affected by this.
So that's one. And then here's what he said recently.
And as of today, TikTok is back. And as of today, TikTok is back.
So there you have it. He totally, completely, and utterly flipped on the issue in the most obvious way imaginable. All right, more. So here is what TikTok sent out after being offline for a day, being banned for a day. They take the statement, save TikTok from President Trump, which he released on Truth Social and all the social media apps. TikTok says, thanks for your patience and support. As a result of President Trump's efforts, TikTok is back in the U.S. You can continue to create, share, and discover all the things you love on TikTok. More. March 2020. This is March 2023. This was not long ago. Here's what Trump said. This is basically 2 years ago. He says this. Has anybody noticed that everyone wants to go after and destroy TikTok due to China influence and national security? When I wanted to disable TikTok 3 years ago, I was met with opposition from rhinos to Democrats to everyone else. They actually went to court in an effort to stop me. Now they realize I was right and have changed their tune. Sadly, I've been right about everything. So here he was in 2023 saying, yeah, ban TikTok. I was right. Now everybody's coming around to my position. I've always been right about this. Ban TikTok. Right? And then again, just the other day, save TikTok. So he did a total flip-flop on this issue. By the way, watch. Nobody in mainstream media is going to ask him about this. Nobody's going to try to hold him accountable. And as we point out, MAGA's a cult. As Trump goes, everybody else in MAGA goes. Ready? So here is what Charlie Kirk was saying in 2020. Breaking. President Trump just announced on Air Force One that he will be banning the evil CCP-compromised app TikTok. America can't continue to allow our citizens to be surveilled by Xi Jinping and his terroristic cronies. I have long advocated for this. Fight back! It wasn't just Charlie Kirk. It was literally everybody in MAGA was on the page of banning TikTok because Trump was railing against TikTok on a regular basis. Then here he is, just the other day. Trump is saving TikTok. Pay attention, Generation Z. So again, a total flip-flop. Why? Why is Trump doing this? Well, guys, the answer is actually super straightforward, and it drives me crazy that more people aren't talking about this. Why did he flip his position? When he was advocating for banning TikTok, he had received no donations from TikTok. Now, he got $1 million from the CEO of TikTok. The CEO of TikTok decided, I'm going to play the political game. I'll give $1 million to Donald Trump. And so as soon as he got that $1 million check, on a dime, totally flipped. And said, TikTok, we're going to save TikTok. We love TikTok, folks. We love TikTok. Now, by the way, further evidence of what's going on here, you have TikTok CEO is reposting Charlie Kirk. Okay? So, in other words, the statement that TikTok released, where they were like, yeah, okay, we know Biden said that he's going to try to find a way to not enforce the law, etc., but that's not a strong enough commitment for us, so we're going to ban it. We're going to pull it down. Why would they release that and then release two separate statements, basically saying, all glory be to the amazing Donald Trump who saved us. You should be thanking this glorious, amazing Donald Trump. Comrade Donald has saved us from being banned. They released it because they're playing politics. They're playing politics. They're on the side of MAGA. They're on the side of Trump. They're playing the political game. They gave him a massive contribution. So he looks out for them, and they look out for him. And they're trying to give him the credit for saving it. Now, by the way, let's be clear. He is indeed saving it. The reason he's saving it is pure corruption and bribery. Let's not get it twisted. That's why he's saving it. But having said that, we never really should have been having this conversation about banning TikTok anyway. This is a massive crackdown. This is complete authoritarianism. It's trying to shut down free speech. This is an app that's used by young people all across this country to get their voice out and have fun. And the government just deciding to ban it is an insane, insane overreach. So while I have a lot of criticism of Trump, the fact that he totally flip-flopped on this, the fact that he changed his mind because of corruption and bribery, the fact that he never even had to explain why he changed his mind. He never tried to square that circle. He was just in favor of banning it. Then boom, oh, would you look at that? He's not in favor of banning it anymore. Now he wants to save it. Gee, I wonder why. Nobody asks him why. Nobody tells you why, right? Many criticisms of Trump. Clearly in bed with TikTok now, etc. But man, I got a lot of smoke for the Democrats in this story too. This is classic Democrat self-inflicted wound bullshit. You know, when the Republicans lead on an issue, like Trump did a few years back, they led on ban TikTok. It came from the likes of Tom Cotton and Lindsey Graham and the China hawks and the neocons. They led on this. And instead of the Democrats actually thinking for themselves and making a counter argument and saying, hey, we don't agree with that. Young people are part of our coalition. They love this app. We don't understand why you would ban this app. We believe in freedom. We believe in liberty. We believe in people should be able to say whatever they want to say on the app. We should defend this app. A lot of people make a living on this app. This app is very popular. Instead of actually taking a stand and making a counter argument and saying, leave TikTok alone, we're going to defend TikTok at the time, what do? They followed the right wing. They went right down the path that the right wing wanted them to go down because no Democrats seemingly can think for themselves. They can't take a stand on their own. This happens every time. Every time there's a big debate in the country. Think of the Iraq War. Most of the Democrats went right along with the Republicans and bent the knee and said, yeah, I'm in favor of the Iraq War because everybody's in favor of the Iraq War. How about actually taking a stand? How about actually believing in something? How about actually making a counter argument? And so now you do have a lot of Democrats who are trying to blame Trump for this because Trump was the godfather of the idea of banning TikTok in the first place, which is an argument that makes sense to some extent. But what they're not telling you is, why did the Democratic Senate pass the bill to ban TikTok? Why did Joe Biden sign the bill to ban TikTok? They don't answer that question. The reason they did it is because they're cucks and they always bend the knee to the right and they never make a counter argument and they never stand strong. And so they felt like that's where the political winds were blowing in favor of banning TikTok. So they said, yes, sir, I'm in favor of banning TikTok too. And now they screwed the pooch. Because now this was a layup for Trump now. Because Biden signed the bill, a Democratic Senate passed the bill, it was a Republican House to be fair, but a Democratic Senate passed the bill, Biden signed the bill to ban TikTok, and then at the last minute, his meek maybe we'll try to save it, etc., opens the door wide open for Trump to come in and look like the savior, and now I'm sure you're going to see, with young people in particular, because this is such a popular app with young people, Trump's numbers are going to skyrocket, because they're going to read the thing sent to them from TikTok, how Trump saved TikTok, and they're going to go, hey, at least he did one thing good, right? And so I got smoke for everybody in this story. The only reason Trump flipped to this position, which is the correct position, but the only reason he flipped to it, we never should have banned TikTok, we never even should have been having the conversation, that's fucking insane, right? But the only reason he did this is because of bribery, is because of corruption, is because they gave him $1 million. That's the only reason. That's it. So people need to tell the truth about that. People need to point that out. People need to point out he originally came up with the idea of banning TikTok. Everyone needs to point that out. But at the same time, you got to give Democrats a fresh kick in the ass here and let them know. Guys, stop being embarrassing. Stop being pathetic. Stop always, whatever the right-wing consensus is at the time, going down that path. And by the way, the polls at the time a few years back, Republicans hammered away on this and moved the issue to be a popular issue among the public. It was over 50% of the country wanted to ban TikTok, right? And so Democrats are I guess we'll go in that direction because the Republicans are screaming about it and the polls show slightly in favor of banning it. Well, guess what? Right before the ban happened, nobody wanted to ban it anymore. The polls collapsed. It was like 30-something% that wanted to get rid of TikTok because it turns out not only is it a very popular app, but a lot of people make a living on the app, right? And so you could have just taken a stand at the beginning. You could have just said, this is our position from the beginning. You could have just fought on that, stood on that, but they never, ever fucking do. And then now it's such a classic Democrat and Republican story, right? Because everybody plays their role. Republicans lead. From the beginning, they lead. Hey, we want to ban it. And then they move the polls in favor of banning it, right? And then they get bribed to flip their position. They flip their position. They're against banning it. And they save the day, right? And then Democrats, they just follow the Republicans the entire time. They finish the deal of actually banning it. And then they get all the blame. It's just classic. It shows how broken U.S. politics is. It shows how disgusting and grotesque and sloppy and broken it is. That there's not a Democrat with a backbone anywhere in sight. And the Republicans have all the backbone in the world, but they're incredibly corrupt and stupid, and they get bribed on a daily basis. And now it looks like they're the heroes, even though, again, they don't have a real position on anything. It's just all, where's the money going? So, Jesus Christ, man. This story drives me crazy. We'll finish with this, too. What's the real reason why they banned TikTok? It's got nothing to do with it. They say, oh, China, they're spying on you and they're stealing your data. That argument never made any sense. Everybody already has all of your data. Everybody does. Trump signed a law in his first term which made it so you have no privacy rights online. Any company that has your information is legally allowed to sell your information to anybody else, right? Every foreign government has your information. Every corporation has your information. It's over. It's done. And everybody knows that that's the case. So any pearl clutching about your data is literally just a lie. They're just lying. It's got nothing to do with that, right? So what's the real reason? Well, if you pay close attention, every now and then they admit what the real reason is.
Well, I think the first time President Trump gets into a trade war with China, the minute we have a disagreement, when we exchange tariffs, they're going to realize the news feed will be all pro-China. There's no pro-Israel stories on there, almost nothing. There's no pro-Taiwan stories. Do we want the predominant news source in America with young people to be pro-China, gradually, subtly anti-American? That's the question you have to ask.
Notice how there was a mention there of Israel. Did you notice the mention of Israel? You know who else said the same thing? The head of the ADL said, we have a TikTok problem. Israel's very unpopular on TikTok, and we're losing the younger generation. We should probably do something about that. The Israel lobby wanted to do something about this. The Israel lobby. So Chris Murphy comes out and says this: TikTok tucking itself in with Trump, Twitter under control of the White House, Facebook making major changes to placate MAGA, doing PR campaign to align with Trump. Does everyone not see what's happening here and how terrifying this is? So as this person points out, hey, Senator, why are you trying to wash your hands of this now after telling Jonah Goldberg's news site back in December 2023 that you decided to embrace the TikTok ban in order to suppress young people's criticism and protests against Israel's genocide in Gaza? Democratic Senator Chris Murphy of Connecticut was similarly circumspect when pressed on Schumer's conclusion about anti-Semitism and the left. Quote, I think there's an awful lot of hateful speech on the left and the right. But Murphy did offer one concrete idea to combat anti-Semitism: banning TikTok. Part of what I really worry about is the way that social media sites drive this narrative, especially for young people, he said. The way that TikTok is talking about Gaza is designed to divide Americans from each other. While Murphy had previously been reluctant to embrace a ban, the events of the last 2 months have pushed him toward the view that it's probably time to say that we shouldn't have a Chinese-owned social media company force-feeding divisive information to our kids. So the real reason is, online, on TikTok, it was very, very pro-Palestine. And the Israel lobby didn't like that one bit. And our politicians get a tremendous amount of money from the Israel lobby, and they do their bidding. That's why they wanted it banned. That's why. The only reason it's getting unbanned again is because the head of TikTok gave Trump $1 million, and they will probably give him more money. So Trump took the right position for the dead wrong reason, right? But again, he gets to look like the hero here, even though he came up with the original idea of banning TikTok. So this just shows you we're in for a really, really long 4 years. If the Democrats are this stupid, this dumb, this ineffectual, this spineless, and the Republicans know how to hop in front of a parade, know how to make it look like they're the heroes, man, I just shudder at the thought of what's going to go on for the next 4 years, bro. I really do. Hey, y'all, do me a favor.
Okay, so as you can see, it's really ridiculous. I mean, again, Trump got everybody on the bandwagon to ban TikTok, and the guy was right. I mean, the Democrats were also talking about it too, but there were some Democrats who didn't really understand the logic behind singling out just one entity online for social media, and why not everybody, because they all do it. And and hell, even if you're just buying something online, those companies, which are not, you know, chat media things or whatever like that are just stores online, sell that data, okay, and pass it around. So it's not just TikTok, it's not just Facebook, it's not just Twitter, it's not just this or that, it's the whole fucking internet. If you're going to stop people if you want people to be safe online, you have to get rid of the internet. Okay, because any information you put, we tell people all the time, be careful of the pictures you take. Okay, and when you post them, they never go away. They're out there circulating all over the fucking internet all the time. Okay, you get my point now? Nothing is ever gone on the internet that you put out there. It's always there. It's always in the system. And that's why I'm saying, what's the point of targeting just this one entity? Because, the Chinese government, they're taking you. If they were that dangerous, why is it we still can buy stuff from China? Really, because we're giving them data every time we purchase something. Hell, a lot of the shit behind me here in this apartment comes from China. I mean, they must have all kinds of fucking microscopes up my ass, okay? But I don't give a shit, okay? They haven't done anything to me so after all these years of buying stuff across the ocean to China, okay, I've never gotten any problems and all that stuff, okay? Granted, I never use TikTok, but I'm on everything else, okay? And my data gets passed around and I'm still fine. So what the hell am I supposed to be waiting for? What's the big dark cloud that's hanging over my fucking head? You know? That's the thing that they never really explained to me, okay, as a citizen, as to why I should be afraid of these social media sites, because they're passing information around. Whoopie fucking do. You know, my mother used to tell me, never give your social security number out to people. You know, every fucking day, practically, I have to give out my fucking social security number whenever I do anything. And that information is on every damn credit card you have. I mean, it's so easy to grab that number. You don't, even if you tell people, it's not going to matter. Everybody's already got it. Christ. You know, it's not such a big secret anymore. You know, I don't understand, why people are all of a sudden now, concerned about privacy when, they've been giving it out since the day we created the internet, okay? Nobody's private anymore. There's no privacy, okay? Whatever you're doing in your bedrooms, we already know about it, okay? Jesus. Either you're out there putting it out there online for people to see, okay, or we're just looking at everything that you're buying to see what it is. In fact, I had to laugh because I watched this crime show online here, and this lady ordered something from Victoria's Secret. She ordered 10 things, I think it was, a list of 10 things that she ordered from Victoria's Secret. The package wasn't delivered to her house, but across the street to her neighbor's place, okay? And when you order stuff, it tells you when it's been delivered, right? Okay, so the package ended up delivered next across the street, and the people over there took the package and denied ever getting it. The lady calls the cops, and the police showed up, and she showed her the text saying, okay, your package was delivered here and everything. Okay, so they went over there and they talked to the lady across the road, and at first she was going to deny, okay, no, we didn't get no package or anything like that. And then all of a sudden, when the cops started saying, well, we can verify that you did get this package, okay, because she has the delivery notification and everything, and we can contact them, and we could check, you know, the other neighbors. And you know, the fact is that, you know, it was a UPS or somebody had verified it was delivered there at that house and not the one that it was supposed to go. So, so finally, this other girl comes out of the house running out with a small bag, okay? Not in a box, but in a bag. And in the bag were the things that belonged to the lady. All but 5 things were not in that bag, okay? And she said, I don't know where those other things are. I don't know, you know, trying to, you know, still lying, right? The fact that they caught them with the items that belonged to the lady across the street, they're, you know, and they're holding out on 5 things. Well, they got like 5 cops over them. This is ridiculous. I don't understand why this happens. You got one problem, you should only need 1 cop. No, they send 5 cops over there for this one problem. To me, that's wasting taxpayer. There could be 10 other fucking crimes happening, but they got 5 cops over here dealing with this asshole neighbor, okay? Anyway, they're in the house, and they're stalling, okay? Trying to talk the cop out. Well, we don't know where it went. Cop says, well, look, if you won't have those 5 things, you're still liable because you had the other 5 things that belonged to the lady across the street. Okay? So either you come out with these 5 things or we're going to arrest you. Well, they found 4 more things. The last thing, she was wearing the fucking panties that the lady had. That's why she didn't want to give them the last, because she was wearing them. As it turned out, you know, when at the end when they said, well, the last item she was wearing when they arrested her, so it was like, so. Yeah, you know, what can I say? I mean, you know, it was a very weird thing, and it took 30 minutes for them to play the whole goddamn thing. And it's like, I'm thinking, you know, this is the reason why people should make sure that whenever they get stuff delivered, that it's brought in someplace secure and not just left out where somebody can just run up to your house and grab it. That happens all the time, and they need to stop doing that shit. But the thing is that your data is out there, okay? You buy stuff, and, you know, that information just doesn't stay with the place that you bought things with. No, it gets passed around, and all of a sudden you find yourself getting things in the mail, like from other, other places, like, because this lady buys from Victoria's Secret, she probably gets ads for more women's clothing in her mailbox, junk mail. She probably gets, you know, stuff in her email, junk mail, okay, about you could buy this or you get discounts for that. You know what I'm saying? That's how it gets passed around that way. And it works really fast these days now, especially since they've been doing it so long. I mean, it's almost instantaneous the minute you buy something. You know, when I buy things online, right off the bat, I start getting ads for, oh, you might be interested in this or that. You know, how do they know that? How do they know that I bought that? Well, it's because they pass that data around. I buy stuff on eBay, you know, and again, eBay, that's even worse. I think they're the worst, actually, because when you buy on eBay, I'm almost immediately get ads for other sellers selling similar things, trying to get me to buy from them. You know, that's how quickly it works. That's why there's no place that's secure, you know, to online to buy things, okay? The minute you plug in your name, your phone number, your social security number, your credit card, okay, you unzip your fly to these people, and now, guess what? We're gonna be kneeling before you, okay? That's that's how it works, okay? So the whole argument that Trump was doing back back a year or 2 ago about TikTok was ridiculous, and the fact that so many people jumped onto that argument and went along with it was equally ridiculous, all right? But nobody wanted to hear that. They just wanted to believe that, oh, because China's the enemy of the weak or whatever, they can't have any of that stuff. And there was no proof that anybody's data was ever in danger because of TikTok, okay? Nobody's ever proven that anybody's lives have been ruined because they were on TikTok. But now Trump is out there and he's lifted the ban on it that Biden had put on it, and he's taking credit for it. Now he's got everybody thinking, yeah, it was wrong to ban TikTok when they were all wanting to see it. You know, It's and the guy's right. You know, if the Democrats had more of a spine, okay, and just instead of going along with what Trump was saying, and that's how you. I mean, look, if Trump is telling you to do something, you know you need to do the opposite, because he's lying to you. All right, never agree with Trump. I don't give a shit if he's talking about giving money to the poor. Don't fucking believe him. Don't trust him. Okay? There's an angle in it that's going to benefit him and take away from you. Never trust anything he tells you. Never. It's like I said about yesterday about people lying. You lie to me once, that's it. You're fucked for life, because I'll never trust you. Even if it's a small lie. I mean, maybe that's why my sister and I don't get along so much, because Wendy, or, you know, my sister, she's always been, you know, less than candid about things, you know, and I know she's done that to me before, but, you know, and so we don't get along, because I can't trust anything she tells me. All right. My father, the same way. He used to bullshit me all the fucking time, and he'd get mad when I call him out on it. So I learned never to trust him either. All right. So I learned the hard way about just not being so gullible. Okay. And I think maybe that's probably one of the reasons why I have such a thing against religions. You know, even the one that I was born into. Okay. Never saw any fucking proof of anything in the Bible that suggested that there was some shred of fact in there at all. It's all fantasy, you know, except perhaps maybe some of the issues, some of the stories told about Jesus, okay, which, you know, some of it is probably fabrications, like the miracles that he did. But, you know, like I said, I cannot take because someone says have faith. No. You got to earn that faith. You have faith in things you know exist. You know, you have faith in your fellow man, you know, to maybe do the right thing. You put your faith where it's well-founded, okay? You just don't believe in that pie in the sky thing, okay? Because you don't see it, you don't hear it, you don't smell it. It's just told to you by other people who also don't have any hard proof that it exists. So, you see what I'm saying? I can't be led by the nose that way. I'm sorry, you know. I just, that's the way I am. If you got a religion and you're all for it, but you can't prove any of it to me, sorry, I ain't buying it. I just ain't buying it. You know, I don't like getting fucked over, and the best way to do that is never be so willing to accept at face value something somebody tells you. Okay, you're smart if you don't. Okay. It's not that you're, and when somebody gets mad at you because you won't believe on faith what they're telling you, and they start saying, well, you're the devil and all this stuff. Okay, you turn your face around and keep walking. I don't want to hear from you, okay? Because those people, they're grifters. When you're not buying what they're selling, they get pissed and they insult you. That's what they do. And people like that, you know, obviously they don't like to be challenged by what they believe, okay? People can believe in all sorts of fucking things. There's people that believe the world is flat. You're never going to sell me on that. I don't give a shit how well you think you crafted your argument. It's not going to work. It's not going to fucking work. That's why I say, protect yourself. You know, demand proof, demand evidence. Never take at face value what people tell you, ever. You know, because we're living in a time right now where a lot of people are trying to get by through life by lying as they go. Okay? I bet you a lot of people are working jobs right now where they have on an application things that they say they've accomplished and they didn't. I know that's happened many times in the past, but I bet people do that a lot these days. You know, I bet they do. They pad the fucking application with false accomplishments and false things, you know, and they gamble on the fact that you're not going to check up on them. You know, it happens a lot, especially in the business world where a lot of money's involved, okay, because there's all kinds of stories you can read in the past where people have scammed from millions of dollars away from people, wealthy people, pretending that there's something they're not, and then they finally get caught, and they're, it happens all the time. So I know people do it. If people, wealthy people, are being scammed that way, there's a lot of that going on, and so you have to be careful. And Trump, he's an expert, at grifting people. He's very good at it. I think his true calling would have been as a used car salesman, to be honest. I think that would have been the best job for him, because he likes to lie, all right? He likes to make things look good, polished it up, even though it's all shit on the inside. He can convince people that, they're buying something that's worth it, and he loves to yak, He's one of them guys that likes to talk locker room bullshit, okay? So, people like that, I think really that's it. That was his calling, and he missed it. Instead he blew millions and millions of dollars on failed ventures, became a failed president twice, accomplished nothing. Seriously. Boy, he got his name in the history books as a president. Whoopee. Okay, it would be nice if some nice things got attached to that while he was in office, but unfortunately for him, there's never going to be anything there that's going to say, or at least highlight why, we should remember him as a president. He's already stained that lineage of presidents that we have in our history books as being the first felon that we as a president in American history. That's really going to be his legacy, unfortunately for us, because it's our government, it's our country. But it's also going to be the bookmark to how everything will decline in this country after him. Okay, it's like the day that we, it'll be like America was on the decline, but it really fell on this day when we put Trump in as president. And the United States went right off the cliff after that. It's really going to be something, because that's really where we're headed now. I mean, there's no hope, really. I really don't see it. That even if we get a Democrat after him, I think the office has been so damaged, and that the government itself has been so damaged by just Trump being president, that it's really... I'm sorry to say, but I think there's really no reason to hope that there's going to be better days ahead, because what Trump is up to, or what he's planning on doing, is really going to damage the stability of this country for generations to come, and it may not come back the way it was. Biden may have been the last American president that we'll ever have, okay? Because he's really the old school type, so he's really the last of the line, okay? Because really, we shouldn't be electing any more people that age anymore as president. In fact, Trump shouldn't even be president. He's too fucking old. He may not even live for his 4 years, okay? But after he's gone and we start putting these other people in there, it's what example do they set? They've had Trump as an example for a president, and I just feel like the characters of the people that we put in there for president after Trump this time is going to be, it's going to be diminished. Okay, these people are going to be, bad apples, with bad characteristics and scandaled and everything. It's really going to be terrible. I mean, I just... People are going to lose more faith in our government more than ever now, especially after the next 4 years. They're not going to have much choice but to feel like we're getting nowhere. It's sad, but, every government eventually falls. They do. Nothing lasts forever. And like I've said before, and the reason that is because anything made by man eventually dies, okay? Nothing man makes is intended to last. In fact, the very earth that we're standing on, because man lives on it, has been damaged to the point where it's probably going to end up killing us in the end here before long. So, people that make the argument that man was put on this earth to destroy the earth, At one time, I used to say that's bullshit. But now I'm thinking, you know, maybe there's some truth to that. You know, maybe putting man on this earth wasn't such a good thing after all. Or, you know, however we got here, that maybe we were put on this earth as we are to end it. You know, I don't know, because we've done nothing good really with the human race except war. You know, and damage the environment. You know, when we talk about the environment, just as a side note here, you know, how many people actually considered how much damage we did to the environment in World War II? And how years after that war was over, the Earth is still trying to recover from that. You know, how much that played into what we're dealing with now. Yeah, we got the industrial age, other factories and all. Sure, they did damage. But I think that during World War II, where we were pumping cars and vehicles and, tanks and ammo, and we had factories running morning, noon, and night, around the clock, making all this stuff, pumping shit into the air and all that, and then at the same time destroying the land and killing people and destroying cities, and then eventually the bomb in Japan. I mean, hey, when you total up all that damage there to the earth, I mean, come on, that's like having fucking 3 or 4 goddamn volcanic explosions here around the world. You know, these areas were just completely damaged beyond belief, and to this day you can still find areas where the war happened that have never recovered from. You know, it's just, you know, I feel like, you know, World War II really was probably at the top of, you know, how humanity was wrecking the environment, you know. And then, of course, after the war, when we started ratcheting up, you know, our ability in this country to make things, you know, making more automobiles and people driving more and all that, and then, of course, it just exacerbated the damage we did during the war. And then we had other wars after that. I mean, Christ. In just 100 years, we did as much damage to the planet as it took before man even existed. It took, you know, maybe 1 million years to come up with the same kind of, you know, that brought the end to the dinosaurs and all that shit, okay? Same damage, shorter time that we did. You know, that goes to show you when people say, oh, man can't destroy the earth, only God can. We've already got enough nukes in our silos to blow the earth up 3-4 different times, okay? Don't tell me that man can't destroy the earth. All right, so that's it for today, and I hope everybody is still sane and gets sobered up by tomorrow after, you know, today and inauguration. It's too bad this happens on Martin Luther King Day, okay? And, you know, we shouldn't ignore that fact that this is happening on his holiday here, his remembrance. But it's a sad note here that these two things happen on the same day, you know, and it's just, it's sad. We put a racist in the White House on a Martin Luther King Day. All right, so anyway, subscribe, comment, and share, and keep your ears open for any health-related issues. And, you know, take care of each other out there, and stay warm if you're up north, and I hope everybody's recovering from, you know, the damage and the fire out on the West Coast. And I hope there's more luck given to people out there right now. You need it. So talk to you later, everybody. Take care.